tortoise.
I am a hare.
I'm a tortoise.
There was a very fast hare that lived in a village. The hare could run very, very fast. Vroom, vroom. Whenever the hare raced with its friends, it always won first place. Even though the hare became more and more arrogant and its friends became more dissatisfied, there was nothing to be done about it because it was true. The hare was the fastest. Then one day, a tortoise slowly approached the hare from afar.
Hey, hare, how about you and me have a race?
What? You and me?
From the sound of that laughter, the friends from the village gathered to see what was going on.
I heard that the tortoise asked the hare to race him.
Of course the hare would win.
I don't think he's gonna...
The friends laughed at the tortoise. Finally, the day came for the hare and the tortoise's race. The friends already knew the results, but they gathered to watch the race. The hare and the tortoise stood at the starting line. Beat, beat, pound, pound. Everyone looked at the gun that HELLY was holding their breath. Bang! Vroom! Finally, the hare and the tortoise took off. Like a champion, the hare ran off excitedly. Before the hare knew it, it ran all the way to the far hill. But the tortoise only went as far as the length of Hooper's body from the starting line.
1, 2, 1,
The tortoise let out short breaths and ran hard, sweating like rain. The friends who were laughing at the tortoise in the beginning were becoming serious too.
Come on, tortoise,
Go,
keep
tortoise,
going.
Come on, you're doing great.
In no time, everyone was cheering for the tortoise. Meanwhile, the hare reached the highest point of the stadium and looked back.
Now, where's this tortoise? Wait, still by the starting line?
Tortoise, go, tortoise, go.
Tortoise,
You're doing great. Go.
The sullen hare stopped in the shade of the tree as it heard the cheers of the other friends.
I'm the one that already got all the way over here.
As the wind gently blew, the hare closed its eyes and fell asleep. How long did the hare sleep?
Wow, the tortoise is almost done.
Surprised by the distant roar, the hare jumped up. The hare started running like mad. Vroom, vroom!
Oh, look, here comes the hare.
After hearing this, the tortoise turned around and saw the hare running up. Vroom, vroom! Although the hare was going at a great speed, the tortoise only needed to take one more step to win the race. At that moment, the tortoise decided.
What are you doing, tortoise? One more step and you win!
With countless cheers behind it, the tortoise silently waited for the hare. After seeing this, the hare hesitated, then approached the tortoise. They crossed the finish line together.
You're awesome!
The friends cheered and applauded tremendously. And from this day on, the tortoise and the hare became best friends. The end of The Hare and the Tortoise.
The Ant and the Grasshopper. I'm a grasshopper.
I'm an ant.
There lived an ant and a grasshopper in a forest village. The ant always sweat and worked hard. Meanwhile, the grasshopper was excitedly playing the guitar in the cool shade of a tree.
It's so noisy. That grasshopper is always just playing.
The ant grumbled, but still worked hard. One bright and sunny day, the ant felt dizzy. The staggering ant fell over and collapsed.
Hey, Ant! Are you okay?
A moment later, when the ant came to, the grasshopper was by his side. The grasshopper had moved the ant into the shade and was diligently fanning and caring for him. The ant was embarrassed and ran away from the shaded area. One day, when the hot summer slowly passed and the weather suddenly got cold, the hardworking ant didn't hear any music.
Why is it so quiet? Where has the grasshopper gone to?
The ant looked over to the tree shade where he always heard the music coming from, but he didn't see the grasshopper. The ant thought, good riddance, and began to work again, but couldn't concentrate on the job. What the ant thought to be the grasshopper's noisy music was actually the strength the ant used to get through the day. That day, the first snow fell on the village. The ant went over to the grasshopper's house.
Is the grasshopper home?
Knock, knock. He knocked on the door, but there was no response. Wondering if anyone was home, the ant looked into the windows and saw the grasshopper, who had collapsed. The shocked ant busted the door open and ran inside the grasshopper's house.
Grasshopper, wake up!
The grasshopper barely opened his eyes.
I'm so hungry.
There was a lot of food around before the cold winter hit, but now there were only dry and fallen leaves. So the grasshopper had starved for a few days and collapsed. The ant rushed home and brought back some food to eat.
Here, eat slowly.
The grasshopper ate the food the ant had brought.
I'll play the guitar for you in return.
The sound of the guitar that he hadn't heard for a while warmed his empty heart. And the ant felt very lonely when thinking of going home and spending the winter by himself.
Grasshopper, do you want to come spend the winter at my house?
I don't have any food to give you.
The grasshopper lowered his head.
There's plenty of food at my house, enough for both of us to eat and have leftovers. In return, you can play me your music every day.
The grasshopper smiled broadly and nodded at the ant's words. The ant also smiled broadly while looking at the grasshopper. It was a cold winter with lots of snow, but the ant and the grasshopper ate delicious food, played great music, and became friends while spending a warm winter together. The end of The Ant and the Grasshopper.
The Sun and the Wind.
I am the sun.
Ha! I am the wind.
Ho! I am Grandfather Musty.
It was a spring day where the warm sun shone. The Brigart wind went looking for the sun. The slightly bored sun welcomed the wind. The wind bragged to the sun about everything that's been happening since the last they saw each other.
Do you know how strong I am? I can take down trees on top of the hill and blow people away. I'm the strongest in the world.
The sun quietly listened to the wind bragging and responded,
Let's make a bet on who's going to bring down Mr. Musty's belongings first.
The wind took on the bet. It was confident it could bring down anything with its strong breath. That's how the bet to bring down Mr. Musty's belongings began. The wind came out first and confidently began to blow.
Oh?
Mr. Musty was taken aback when the wind suddenly began to blow.
Oh my goodness.
Mr. Musty's belongings shook a little, but it didn't blow away. So the wind blew harder. Whoo!
Hoo! Hoo! Oh my. The wind is blowing quite strongly today.
Mr. Musty squeezed and held his belongings tightly. The wind was angry that the belongings didn't fly away and began to blow even harder. Trees were falling over and animals were flying away, but Mr. Musty's tightly held belongings didn't fly away. The exhausted wind decided to give up. It was the sun's turn now. It took a deep breath and released it in flames.
Yup! Oh.
The sun got hotter and hotter. Just a bit ago, Mr. Musty was taken aback by the strong wind that blew, then suddenly stopped, and again now from the moody weather that was getting hot.
Oh my. It's really hot. It's too hot.
Mr. Musty was sweating so much and getting more and more tired. He decided to unload his belongings in the shade and rest a bit before he continued.
I won!
The sun finally won the bet against the wind. The wind, who always bragged on its strength, felt embarrassed and wanted to run far, far away where the sun couldn't see it. Right then, Mr. Musty found the wind.
Wind, won't you blow me a cool breeze?
The wind blew Mr. Musty a nice cool breeze as he felt bad for what he did earlier. Mr. Musty was thankful to the wind and continued on his way. The sun winked at the wind and smiled. Ever since then, the sun and the wind became good friends and helped travelers along their way. The end of the sun and the wind.
The Pigeon and the Ant.
I am a pigeon. I am an ant.
I am a hunter. In the middle of a beautiful forest, a pigeon was flying in the cool breeze.
Save me!
The startled pigeon looked around.
Save me! Please save me! Oh, ant!
The pigeon flew over quickly after finding the ant drowning in the water. The pigeon dropped its feather on the water.
Here! Get on this feather!
The floundering ant barely managed to climb onto the feather.
I'm alive! I almost died! Thank you, truly!
The ant sighed with relief. Then one day, a scary hunter with a gun appeared in the forest. The pigeon didn't even know the hunter had shown up. The hunter found the pigeon and pointed his gun at it. Right then, the ant saw what was going on.
Oh no! The pigeon is in danger. I must help.
The ant quickly crawled to the hunter's foot and bit the top of it. The hunter, bitten by the ant, shouted. Surprised by the sound, the pigeon flew away quickly. When the hunter pointed his gun at the flying pigeon again, the ant bit the hunter again and again.
Ouch! Ouch, that stings! Oh, it stings! What is going on?
In the end, the hunter gave up hunting and ran away from the forest. After that, the scary hunter with the gun never returned. All the forest friends lived safely and happily ever after. The end of the pigeon and the ant. The gold axe and the silver axe. I am an honest woodcutter.
I'm a mountain spirit. I'm a greedy woodcutter.
One sunny day, a woodcutter was cutting down a tree. I'm gonna finish my work quickly and go home and rest. The woodcutter ignored the sweat on his forehead and worked hard. Then suddenly, the axe slipped out and flew into the pool. It fell in. Oh no! What do I do? My only axe fell into the pond! When the woodcutter was grieving his lost axe, light and smoke rose from the pond and a mountain spirit appeared.
Why are you so sad?
The startled woodcutter came to his senses and answered. I dropped an axe into the pond while I was cutting the tree.
Wait just a little moment.
The mountain spirit went down into the pond for a while and came back up with a gold, a silver, and an iron axe.
Is this gold axe yours?
Huh? No. This gold axe is not mine.
Then is this silver axe yours?
No. My axe is an ordinary iron axe.
What an honest woodcutter you are. I'll give you all 3 of these axes.
Oh, thank you, mountain spirit. The woodcutter received not only the lost iron axe, but also the gold and silver axes in exchange for his honesty. Meanwhile, a greedy woodcutter living in a neighboring village heard the news. He rushed to the pond with an iron axe. As soon as the greedy woodcutter arrived at the pond, he threw his axe into the water and pretended to cry.
Oh no!
Oh no, my axe fell into the pond. Oh, my only axe.
Again, this time, light and smoke rose and the mountain spirit appeared.
Why are you so sad? My axe fell into the pond. Oh no, oh dear. Wait just a little moment.
The mountain spirit went down into the pond for a while and came back up with a gold, a silver, and an iron axe.
Is this gold axe yours? Yes, I did lose that one. Then is this silver axe yours too? Yes, that's also the silver axe I lost. Then is this iron axe yours? No, that old iron axe is not mine. You fool! I saw you throw an iron axe and you lied to me. There is no axe for a liar or a greedy man.
The mountain spirit scolded him and went straight into the pond. The greedy woodcutter not only lost the gold and silver axes, but he even lost his own iron axe. The end of the gold axe and the silver axe.